Hello friends and welcome to The Bro Thing. I'm your coach Arunav, and for those of you who don't know me, I've been a dating coach for the past decade, helping men attract high quality women and get into fulfilling relationships. In today's video, you're going to learn how to find out whether the person you're talking to is the right person for you or not. Now, when I got into cold approach, which means going out there and approaching random people, I literally had no idea about attraction. I was a shy kid. I was 17 years old at that point in time. I had no experience with women. I was just a blank slate. So all I knew was if I follow this process, I'm going to get this result. And the result was I'm going to get more women into my life. I'm going to be talking to more girls. And that's exactly what happened for the longest time. I started going out. I started approaching a lot of girls, started getting good reactions. Girls used to like me. But there was a problem. And the problem was I was unable to figure out which girl I actually wanted to have a long-term relationship with. That is exactly what I see with a lot of my clients. They learn the skill, they go out, they start getting the results, they start getting dates, and then they fall into wrong relationships. And that's what I want to talk about today, so you don't land into that situation. Now, the first thing you need to understand to figure out whether it's the right relationship for you or not is to understand your own emotional needs. And I was talking to one of my friends, and this guy's a Mexican guy. He's been gaming for 15 plus years, and we were just talking about it completely depends on your own self, because some people are emotionally needy. And of course, if you're a man, you should technically not be emotionally needy. You should strive for being more calm, more centered, and more, sort of full of life rather than being emotionally needy and dependent on others for positive emotions. But there are some people who are emotionally needy, and for them, maybe an emotionally needy girl would work. But if you're a guy who's an entrepreneur, if you're a guy who's a working professional, if you're a guy who's an ambitious man, then the emotionally needy girl will not work for you, because the emotionally needy girl is always gonna ask you for more and more attention, more and more time. And the moment they think that you're gonna go away or you're gonna do something big in your life, they're gonna be fighting for your time. And that's exactly what I realized in my own relationships as well. Now, you need to analyze yourself. You need to see, are you a guy who requires a lot of time and attention? Or are you a guy who's on his path and purpose? You have your objectives well set. You don't really require that much time, those many emotions, and that much attention. But if you're a guy who's probably had a broken home, if you're a guy who has abandonment issues, if you're a guy who has probably had a lot of past trauma, and you're not able to fix that or you're not able to heal yourself, then you might require that kind of a person who's always invested in you. And nothing is wrong, guys, to each their own, but you need to analyze yourself before even analyzing the woman you're actually talking to. The second step is figuring out the other person you're talking to, the girl you're interacting with. Now, I have this concept called the nurse versus diva concept. And what I figured out with this concept is there are some women who are more on the nurse quadrant. There are some women who are more on the diva quadrant. Nurse quadrant is mostly women who are more caring, more nurturing. They pay you more attention and they don't want much in return. The diva quadrant is they will not care about you too much. They'll be a little bit colder. They would always be so self-centered, and you'd have to invest a lot to make the diva happy. Now, in my life, I've had different phases. I've dated nurses, I've dated divas, I've dated some girls who were in the middle. To find a girl who's in the middle, it's kind of a little tough, but you might still find them. There'll be more girls who would be either on the nurse side or either on the diva side. Now, my personal opinion, drop the diva as soon as you know she's a diva. But if you're at a stage in your life where it really does not matter to you, you don't really have to invest a lot because, your life is completely sorted. Maybe you're a millionaire or a billionaire, then go for the diva by all means. But if you're an average guy doing a 9 to 5, a working professional, I would strongly suggest going for a nurse. My personal opinion for my own self is going for the nurse. Why? Because she's going to be more caring. She's going to be there with you through the thick and thins, through the ups and downs, and she's going to be dependable. But the diva, on the other hand, now, I had this incident. I was dating this girl, and it's a really funny incident, but I like to share it. So I was dating this girl, and this girl was too much on the diva quadrant. I was going through a tough situation with my hand being broken, but that did not mean that she would change her characteristics and she would become extremely caring. In turn, she tried to fuck me over by telling me that she's going out with other men. Now, since I'm a dating coach, all of this really does not matter to me. But I was just thinking, if there was a normal guy put in my position with a broken fucking hand, completely in love with the diva, what would he do when the diva told him, I'm going out on a date with other men because you broke your hand, you're out with your friends, and I'm going out, you don't care about us? That guy would probably be fucking broken. And that's one of the reasons I started this company, because I didn't want any guy to go through that. So my point being, the diva can leave you at any point in time, but the nurse is there to stay. So you gotta figure out whether she's a diva or a nurse. If you get a girl in the middle of the quadrant, good enough. If you're not able to find the girl in the middle, try to find a nurse, because that's the primary objective. And also, a key part of figuring out her personality is understanding her beliefs, understanding her social upbringing, understanding her conditioning. Now, what I mean by understanding her beliefs is basically once you actually get to know more about her, how she was raised, how her family life was like, you will understand how she looks at the world, how her perception is. And with that, mostly you can analyze whether she's a nurse or a diva. And of course, her behaviors will give that out. But one more key observation, what I would like to share with you is divas, they'd come from broken homes. They'd come from broken families. They're gonna have bad habits, maybe intoxications, whatever. But nurses, they're going to be a little bit more fulfilled. They're not going to be from broken homes in most cases. They're going to have loving lives, loving friends, and a good upbringing and good environment. And that is going to help you in the long term. But there are times when you'd want to go out, just stay a Diva just for the fun of it. So do that by all means. And if you need my help in doing that, click on the pinned comment below, schedule a call with my team. Let's see if you're a right fit to work together.